I'm Charles White, and this is Art in Review. Today we have a groundbreaking show for you. The greatest painting of the 20th century, and the artist who painted it, Philip Corey. Hello. I'm sitting across from who I would have to consider the greatest painter of the 20th century, since his last work was the greatest painting of the 20th century, titled Philip Corey. Philip, how did this happen? How did this work come about?
Well, for years I was painting in a very traditional 17th century Caravaggio-type figurative style. And one day I just got very tired and I decided to just write down what I was going to paint. In other words, I had white canvas with black paint and I would just do a series of paintings that I would just write down what the image and the subject was. For instance, if I was to do a portrait, I would just write down a portrait of Charles White. And then I was going to do this painting, and before I was going to start it, I realized it was going to be the greatest painting of the 20th century, and I decided just to write down the greatest painting of the 20th century, as opposed to letting the public decide whether it would be. I was going to decide for them.
Does this mean that you ceased all production of your 17th century style paintings, or is this kind of like on the side? Are you doing this style along with your 17th century work?
Well, I consider traditional painting for human beings, and that's why I don't do it anymore.
So what you're actually saying is you don't consider yourself as a painter for humans, or you don't consider yourself human?
Neither.
What exactly would you consider yourself?
Well, after doing this painting, I guess I would have to consider myself a demigod.
Interesting. Since we have the means, I'd like to see some of Philip's older work, if we could. Just go to that. you say there was any connection, Phil, from going from such reality to such, I wouldn't say unreality, but to something totally the opposite of your older work?
I think everything is real, and in fact I consider this more real. But I don't know exactly how to put into words why. I think what I did before was the illusion of reality, and this is reality.
Audio and video. Could you give me just an idea of exactly where you're going with those two mediums?
Well, I don't plan to continue the writing paintings much longer. I plan to evolve into making videotapes and audio tapes of me just talking about my work, and also